There was a neighbor, English neighbor, non-Amish, who came and told Dad, he said, you bought a house, a farm, and with that house, and he said, that house is spooked. Of course, Dad didn't pay that much attention to it. But our family found out that that house was spooked. My family never talked to visitors or other people about it because you tell somebody a spook story, they don't half believe it, you know.
Right.
This house had the front door facing the road. You came into a hall, and in that hall there was a stairway going upstairs, and then it went doors to the rest of the house. Mom and Dad's bedroom was, when you come in the front door, their bedroom was to the right before you went upstairs. And I don't know how soon after we lived there. Things began to happen. In the middle of the night, everybody was in bed. They would hear somebody going upstairs, come in the front door and go upstairs. Dad would get up, call for the guy, or go upstairs and see who was there. Nobody was there. The next morning at the breakfast table, we had, I think there was about 7 children at that time. We had 7 or 8. Everybody, small people had heard it,
Yeah.
the family, and they would look at each other, and they didn't want to scare us kids.
But you knew it.
I knew something went on.
Mm-hmm.
When did you find out? When did they talk about it?
Well, I don't know, but the only time I saw some of it that I remember, I was probably only about 5 or 6 or 7 years old at that time. And if you went south from our house on the Rose Valley Road, you came to the Hazelville Road. And the Rose Valley Road ends there. You go, so if you went all the way to the end of Rose Valley Road and made a right, the first place on the left was my brother Rudy. And I know that we visited one evening, Brother Rudy's, and after dark we walked home. Because it was about as far from here to Sharon, a little further, maybe here to the road. And We got, I don't know if you know where the Rose Valley Schoolhouse is or not.
Mhm.
Got back to the schoolhouse. Our house, where we lived, lit up. Every window in that house was lighted. That's hard to believe, but I saw that. We all stopped right in our tracks. Because it was my dad and 2 or 3 of us kids and my mom. And then suddenly they went out. We walked on and went in the house. That's the only time that I personally saw some of this. But periodically, they would hear mysterious things happen in the house.
Wow.
Is that house still standing? Is your old house still there?
My dad and our family didn't agree with a lot of these Kansas people. There was 4 families here from Kansas, Amish people, and they believed in this mighty. Somebody left the church, Amish church. They would ban them, put them in the band, what they called the band. You weren't supposed to eat with them or nothing. Dad didn't believe that. So he wanted to move out. And he bought a farm over in Teller. Well, let me tell you this way. My brother Willie and my brother Enoch and my sister Mattie bought places over in Sudlersville, Maryland. And we were going to move to Sudlersville, Maryland and start an Amish settlement over there. His dad went over and bought a farm. Supposed to be 150 acres. He put a down payment in it. And but he questioned whether it was that big. So he had it surveyed, and it was 100 acres. So he went to the lady that owned it and told her that he wants a better price for the farm because he paid for 150 acres. Or he was paying for that. And she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't lower the price. So he demanded his money back. She gave it back. And the incident was the fall of us not settling over in Maryland. So I don't know how long after that, a year or 2 maybe, I don't know. This farm came for sale up at 7 Hickory. And my dad bought that farm. It was 240 acres. And Brother Simon took 75 acres of it. And we moved up there when I was 11 years old. And my mother died up there then. I don't know how long we lived there, maybe less than a year we lived there until my mother died. And there were a lot of the Amish in this community that, see, my dad was a deacon. and Rudy was a minister. Simon was a minister. That's my brothers. So they all moved up to Seven Hickories and started a church there. And a lot of the Amish, or quite a few of the Amish, followed us. And that's when the church started up there in the northern part of Delaware, or, yeah, northern part of the Delaware.